Good evening, friend. Today I'm gonna talk to you all about how to buy a business in COVID-19 in Western Australia. A lot of inquiry has coming to me nowadays. People asking me, okay, Sanjeev, I want to buy this business. I want to buy this business. Before that, I tell you the reason is why because I have a business called Pen Hill Partners where I support local businesses. My aim here is to make business affordable and to make a lot of my ultimate target is to increase local businesses here and make Australia more like make more businesses homegrown instead of outsourcing and all those things. I'm not in against of outsourcing, but I think that the outsourcing or globalization should be in a sustainable way. So that's the whole target is. The Penhill partner is born just this year, uh, under the COVID-19, because I really thought that this is the time we need to make a move. Okay, the corporation grid has gone too far and the current political environment is not helpful. So my aim is, and the post COVID-19, there will be no more. There will be a crisis of jobs. Okay, until unless we create more of the jobs here locally in Australia. So the aim of so many calls that I am receiving today, on a daily basis, is that most of the people's like whose income has been affected by the COVID-19, they are more interested in buying a business, including me, because I used to have a business, I left, and now I want to start again. So most of the people that who comes to me, and what I feel that they are panic buying. Panic buying, I'm saying, is why because the income is getting suddenly destructed, and they wants to buy any business, and they're desperate to buy a business because or to some extent they think that because the market is bad so business are cheaper. At the same time, they're not understanding that the consumer expenditure will be going down post COVID-19. So the next 2 years there will be not so much happening in the market until this government put money into the hand of the people to the excessive money into the hand of the people to spend. So we are seeing a depression of global depressions or depressions of 90s. Okay, so the most important thing when we want to buy a business in Western Australia is we have to see the type of business. The first most important thing is that you have to select what type of business you are capable of managing it, whether it's a restaurant business, cafe business, travel and tourism business, motels, and training business or consulting business. You have to select. What I have seen in the last 2 3 years that a lot of Indians are into the service business, which is very good. Like service business, most of them doing employment in a migration agency. There's thousand of the migrant migration agency working in Western Australia. So far so good, that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. People wants to get self-employed. And then also we have a lot of mortgage broker business, and then we have like a lot of insurance broker business, which is good. The service industry is always going to be good, and the problem is that there's too much competition in this business, and there's not that many people who are looking for this kind of services. To be honest, a lot of people have lost the jobs. Okay, so that means they are not straight away, because once you lose your full-time job, most your 50% chances of getting the loan or any kind of the loan for buying a houses or buying a property or buying a businesses has gone. Okay, so another is credit history and all the stuff. But what we are talking today is that, is buying a business is good right at time? I don't know, to be honest. I do research. Okay, it's I don't my decision is based on my research, the research I undertake to analyze the market. So what I'm saying in the market, like normally most of the Asian, okay, when I say the Asians, like Chinese, Filipino, Burmese, and all those people, they used to go for a hospitality business, like like a restaurant, cafe, takeaway, shop. But suddenly there's a panic selling. And please note the panic selling, they are selling their businesses panic, in a panic mode, that it's ridiculous. Normally, I know 10 years ago, like 5 6 years ago, whenever that Asians like Chinese or Vietnamese or anyone who used to want to sell a business, they used to advertise on their local newspaper in their own language, and they try to sell their businesses to their own people. But suddenly they are coming into the market on a Gumtree, on a Seek Business Cell, and every other places. So there's something which we need to catch up. This panic selling. Why there's suddenly panic selling? Second thing is that the rent. The rent is the biggest factor. So I know one of the restaurant business was like, they could not cope just because of the rent was too high and the sale is not good. And this was like 3-4 years ago. I'm talking about 5 years ago. So 5 years ago the rent was too high and the people was struggling. So now there's more chances they will struggle more. So in this COVID, in the era of COVID-19, because we are not in the post COVID-19, although we are Australian government saying that we are in post COVID-19 phase, but post COVID-19 phase will start after September. Okay, so if you are trying to buy a cafe and restaurant business, so you have to be careful that after September, October, November, December is only the period you can make money, because by the end of the December, by the end of the November, and by the beginning of December, the Christmas holiday will start, and the people will go for holidays and this and that. Then from December, from the mid of December till the end of January, there will be no business at all. So you can understand, like, now we have a restriction in all the places, so your restaurant, cafe and takeaway business anyway it will not work till the next year January. So if you want to buy, if you want to buy a business or something like that, you have to in there you have to consider this factor as well, that there will be, maybe just like you will be benchmarking, like you will be just covering the cost and everything till next year January. So so first thing is that when you go to buy a business, when I advise people to, when they want to go to buy a business, first thing is to do is to check the location, which is important. If you're in the hospitality business or any service business like hospitality or convenience store, the location is very important. So you have to check the location. Okay. Second thing is the rent, most important. Rent, outgoing, and all those things. What happening in the past is like that all those people who, all this, there was a custom like commercial properties. Okay, anybody who owns the commercial property, they want to get this paid off in 3 or 4 or 5 years. That's why they put the rent is so high that in 3 or 4 or 5 years they expect that to pay off the rent, to pay up the mortgage, so it's kind of free property for that. So that's why the rent is goes so high. So you have to understand, and they have to understand as well, that this those era has gone, those days are gone. So why people will, and that's what happening now, a lot of businesses are prefer to go and buy their own property instead of paying the rent. And this is happening, and this is started happening from the last, I say, since 2017 or 2018. And you see, go and see the best part, Subiaco, it's all gone down. And a lot of people in Osborne Park, this is also, a lot of people are going to the industrial area like Anderson, up north on those sides, like Malaga and all those places where the industrial the environments are coming, the big warehouse you can buy. And instead of paying somebody else mortgage, they want to prefer to pay their own mortgage, so which is also becoming an asset. So people are getting smarter now. That's what we have to think. If you want to do a business, the rent has to be in such a way that it's not a burden, that you're not going to work for somebody else. Suppose there are a cafe, okay, 40 square meter cafe, and the rent is like 10 grand, 7 grand, 8 grand. No, it's not going to work out. After paying the staff and everything, there will be not enough money to make to make for you or to save for you. So instead you will be working for them instead of working for yourself. So the question here is that how much is the rent is good for restaurant and cafe with limited cooking capacity. When I says cafe, okay, cafe with a limited cooking facility, that means you cannot do a bulk cooking or like restaurant style cooking. So the rent should be below 2500, okay, plus GST. And outgoing is always different. It's depending upon what kind of property you have and the suburb your business is. So if it's more than 2 grand or 2005 and maximum 2005, if $2,500, if more than that, don't even think of it. Okay. Second thing is, if you're buying for a restaurant, and just for the restaurant where is there's no morning rush, only the lunch and dinner, then your rent should be around same like 3,000 maximum. You can go for $3,000 depending on the location. If the location is very prime and everything, so then you can go to maximum 5,000, but not more than that. Like in Mount Lolly is gone now. Mount Lolly is gone because the reason is only because of the high rent. The rent is too high compared to the location, to the property. So Mount Lolly is vacant. Beaufort Street is vacant. The North Perth is vacant. Now why? Because of the rent is too high. The businesses don't want to invest. Don't businesses don't want to. The owner, business owner don't want to stay there. They want better to go and rent a places and do their business somewhere where there's there's not much overhead and not too much rent, where they can do their businesses in peace. If the rent is too high, you will be always on your toes to make more money, more money, and as a result, you will be in a business stress. So that's what their smart move, that they are going into the regional, to the non-peak location and doing a comfortable business. So for restaurant, not more than 5,000 if it's in a good position. Other than that, 3,000 is the maximum rent. Okay. Second thing is that because of the COVID-19, you can negotiate the rent. Most of the owners are willing to negotiate, so you can negotiate the rent and even ask for the free 3-month period, which is becoming a standard norms nowadays. They have to give you 3 months free period, and avoid renting from the real estate. This is my opinion. The reason is why? Because of the bank guarantee. If you rent from a real estate agent, commercial properties, then they will ask you 3 months, 3 months bank guarantee, which is waste of money. Like you will be paying money, you will be paying interest. You will be paying ultimately by taking the interest factor. You not be paying much money, but why should you pay money for keeping your money? That means bank guarantee is nothing. It's like that you are depositing your money in a bank, and the bank will hold that money for the real estate owner, okay, as a bank guarantee. And for holding that money, the bank will charge you money, which is a ridiculous thing. So bank gonna use your money to make money. Instead of giving you money, they are charging you more money just for keeping your money. This is totally ridiculous concept of banking, but I don't know, but this is the norms. And that's why saying that Australia has not Australia, even the Western country has not developed in any aspects, because they don't know how to compete. They don't know how, and I don't know who make these policies. When I inquire about it, I was totally shocked. So what he's saying is, the bank lady told me, the lady on the customer service lady told me that, okay, if you want a bank guarantee of $10,000, then you have to pay me $10,000, or you can put $10,000 in your account. That account will be kept as a bank guarantee. That means you cannot use that $10,000. And in order to do these services for you, we're gonna charge you $150 or $160 per 6 months or per 3 months. I'm not sure. To you. I said, what do you mean? Like I'm giving you money to use my money, okay, in your bank. So you're gonna use that money to lend somebody and make more interest, more money on that. And for that, I have to pay a fees for you, like $150 and $200. It's just totally ridiculous. And I don't know, man, what kind of business banking they are doing, but this was the bank guarantee part. So try to avoid renting property, commercial property from real estate agent. Okay. So there is a risk if you go to the owner. So there is a risk. Owner might do this, that, but definitely, it's better to pay. There's a lot of lawyers and a lot of freelancers are there. Pay them some money, pay them an accountant, pay them somebody to draft a contract with the owner and sign that contract, so that your interest is kept protected. Interest is protected. So first thing is the location, second thing is the rent, third thing is that where to whom to rent. So always go for the owner. Okay, they are more flexible, more approachable, and more easy to do business. Okay. And third thing, then after that, what you have to do, you have to select, you have already selected what business you're doing and all that stuff. Then you have to select a good accountant or good bookkeeper. Don't That's the problem in Australia, that a lot of people are avoiding an accountant. A lot of people try to bypass the accountant, keeping a good accounting practices. Because of that, a lot of businesses, I have come across so many businesses, they some of them bankrupt just because they are not keeping a good bank and accounting record. They don't know what's happening in the business. They're using business money for the personal use and the personal money to the business use. They don't know how to keep the separate, and as a result they are messing up. So the first thing is that having a good accountant or good accounting practice, very important. And don't oversmart. This era, when you're going to buy a business, understand always that don't cut the corner, because people in desperate, if you're thinking of, I will hire cheaper, cash in hand staff and this and that, see, that's not gonna work out, my friend. Or today maybe that person is okay, happy to take it, this and that, but as soon as there's some monetary gain comes or some government initiative comes, okay, this and that, and this people gonna take you around. Okay, so don't go follow the illegal process, follow the legal process. Okay, so don't do the cash in hand business, and at all follow the pay them the right amount of money, so that get a contract, employment contract, so you are secure, check their visa and all the stuff, so that you are not charged for anything. So post COVID-19, if you want to, during mid COVID-19 or post COVID-19, if you want to buy business, so you have to be very careful, and you have to do a checklist which location you are capable. Don't take a business like in Geraldton. If you are in a Perth city and you want to take a business in Busselton or Geraldton or Albany, and you want to go and drive up there every day, or you're thinking to keep on a stop, and I'll keep on a stop and he will look after the business and this and that, it's not going to work out unless you have a spare family member. Okay, suppose that staff doesn't turn up, and how are you going to change, all the camera and all the stuffs are there. If that staff call sick or anything, how are you going to go and check, and how you going to replace? So by going there, it's going to take a long drive. So until unless you really, I will strongly suggest that practice is not going to work out during this period. So try to buy a business which is locally, like in a 50 to 75 kilometer zone, and so that if something goes wrong, you can go and personally help out, or take over and all the stuff. So if you want to buy a business post COVID-19 or mid COVID-19, first thing, location, must check the location. So how to check the location? You always go to check the location in the evening, in the morning, and on the weekend. Okay, so this will give you the how busy is the shop gonna be, how busy the business gonna be. For the retail sector, I'm talking about hospitality, restaurant, cafe, and all convenience store and all kind of those business. Okay, second thing is that the rent, very important. Rent is the deciding factor. Rent will be the contributing factor whether you success or fail. Okay, third thing is that contract, the lease contract is important, because if you're going to build a business, so on a site, if you build a customer and everything, and suddenly you have to leave after 3 years, your all client base and all customer base has gone. So make sure you have a proper lease in place. Okay, third thing is a good accounting practice. Okay, you have to keep a good accounting practice who can give you a regular reports how your business is doing, and if there's any need to change or anything you need to do. And last thing is that good staff. Okay, good staff. And another thing is that when you can location, that means within 50 to 60 kilometer of your zone where you live, that will be helpful. And good staff is very important. Make your staff is happy, then your business will be happy. If your staff is not happy, your business is never going to be successful. So post COVID-19, these are the things you have to take care of. There's a lot of businesses are coming, and you have to understand that they must have tried everything to make that business successful. They could not. That's why they are selling. Mostly the restaurant business, cafe business. Okay, so don't invest too much. Okay, there's no point. I did talk to one of the finance broker, and he clearly told me that the bank has given him instruction, and the financial, the credit provider has given him instruction that do not lend to the hospitality business like restaurant and cafe until unless they put like extensive amount of deposit or extensive amount of own money into the business. Like this is if 100,000 a business worth 100,000, then they have to invest at least 70,000, then 30,000 they can do the loan. So that what I'm saying is that even the bank understand that a restaurant, cafe and retail business gonna struggle, so that's why they are not giving the loan. So that's why we have to understand that when we're gonna buy this business, we have to be 100% sure that this business will survive. Otherwise within 1 or 2 years you will be bankrupt and you have to give up the business for free, like so many businesses are giving now. One Indian businesses was given free for $5,000 only. Another business is giving free for like 7,000. Another business who invested 100,000 brand new equipment and everything, they are asking 50,000 only and nobody's taking. So you have to understand. Okay, so if you want to do understand what before buying a business, you have to take an opinion. And we here at Pen Hill Partners, we provide all those information. We will investigate their cash flow. We will investigate their accounts, books and everything to make sure that business is viable. We can organize finance for you. So if you want to buy a business in Western Australia, please do contact us, and we will do all the behind work for you, all the background work for you. We will investigate the business, we will check the accounts, we will go and personally see the location and everything, and we will give you a report on that. Okay, and of course we're gonna charge you some money because we're gonna invest our time, effort and everything. So but we will give you an independent, honest opinion, and which will be help you to make an informed decision, which will cut down your risk, which will cut down your losses. Okay, and we will give you a pathway to what required to make that business successful. So please do contact at Pen Hill Partners. Admin, our email address is admin@penhillpartners.com.au. Our contact number is 0450386382. My name is Sanjeev Kumar Gupta. Have a good day.